Hey, it's your girl Tiff, and I'm back. I don't know if I should call this a vlog or I don't know, just an update. I don't know. But this sun is gorgeous. Wait a minute. Somebody put a heart in the sand for someone. That's cool. It seemed like I'm like all over the place and just starting off this video because I'm kind of stalling. I'm in Ocean City, Maryland. I needed like a mental health break. So if you saw the video, the mental health intervention, this one is, I guess, sort of an update to that one. Yeah, I really wish. I'm still trying to get used to this camera because it does look like I'm looking in another direction. I really wish I had brought a chair because I was going to sit in the sand, but I don't necessarily. Well, you know what? Let's make this a walking video. It's a little too chilly for me to go on the water, but walking this way, this will just be a walking video. And I will go this way and then head back that way. I'm still stalling. So if you saw the other video, the mental health intervention, you know that I told you guys about my daughter and how I went out to California to try to get her to come home. And it didn't work. But I'm gonna start off with why I'm stalling probably. You know, in that video, you know, and I said God gave me a specific thing that he told me to do, you know. He told me to share because someone else needed it. And I did kind of do what he asked me to do. But not really did I do what he asked me to do. I made the video, but I only shared it in 2 places. That was TikTok and YouTube. I have a huge following on TikTok. Well, it's not huge, but I mean, it's not tiny either. So I have about 16,000 followers on TikTok. And even from that moment, that video is still growing over there. YouTube, I only have about 118 followers. But until the other day, I only had like 20 views on the video. I posted it to places where people didn't know me. Where they didn't know me personally. So they had or they didn't know me or my daughter personally. I didn't share it with the other platforms. I have about 5,000 followers on Facebook and another 1,500 on Instagram. But a lot of those people are people who know me. I had a certain level of guilt and shame attached to the situation, which is not cool at all. Because there's nothing to be guilty of or ashamed of when it comes to mental illness. It's something that happens, and some people are mentally ill. Well, now I'm trying to remember, where did I walk from? That's crazy. I didn't even walk that far though. I talked to Alicia. Y'all hear me talk about Alicia all the time. And she pointed out to me how you can't pick and choose what you want to do when God tells you to do something. Either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. It is what it is. And by not sharing the story on to all of my available platforms, I might as well not have shared it to any of them, because I still wasn't being obedient. And my life is supposed to be that one of obedience. So I did share it. I got a lot of backlash from people who care about me and my daughter. But it wasn't the negative backlash that I thought I was going to get. It was all positive. It was all love. It was people reaching out to me with resources that I didn't have before. It was people trying to help. So, this is an update from that video. I 302'd her, and she stayed for the 72 hours, and then she left. My hope upon hope was that she would call me, because she would then be homeless and would need, somewhere to live. And then I would send her a plane ticket. Unfortunately, I did not have the resources to chase her all around California, trying to get her home. After being released, she had a little bit of money. So it took her another 2 weeks before she contacted me. But she said, "Mom, I changed my mind. Can you get me to the airport?" I bought her a plane ticket. Immediately ordered a plane ticket. And then went about trying to get her to the airport. Which was not easy, because I'm in Philadelphia and she's in LA. The first lift that I got for her, it went to a different, she didn't have an actual address to give me. And the first lift I sent her to said she wasn't there. Canceled. We're going to turn around. We're going to go back. During this time, although she was really rational up until now, her mental states began to deteriorate. I kept trying to get an address. Jordan, go into a store, ask them for an address, do something. It took hours. Finally, she did. And when she did, I got the Uber and I got her to the airport. But by then, she was I don't know how to say this because I don't want to say she's crazy. And I don't want to say she's a mess. I don't want to say any of those things because my daughter is beautiful. She is an absolutely beautiful human being. She's not just physically, because she is physically beautiful, but she is a beautiful human being in itself. And but I'll just say when she got to the airport, it wasn't good. And an incident occurred. The police were called. She gave them her phone and told them to call me. I called them and explained the situation. They said they would call me back. They called me back. And hold on, let me tighten this up. They called me back and they decided to take her in, and the judge 302'd her for 72 hours again. A shell. 72 hours again. That was on Thursday. Sunday, 72 hours would have been up. I haven't heard from her. Now, I know she doesn't necessarily, this could mean a couple of things. Because when she got to the hospital, she, just like the previous time, she did not give them permission to talk to me. So she allowed the cops, but by the time she got to the hospital, mommy, who she called to help, wasn't mommy anymore. Guess I was the enemy again. And I called the hospital and she wouldn't allow them to talk to me. But I got a social worker who I hope and pray actually has my daughter's best interest at heart, because she talked to me a lot more than the other one did at the other hospital. And Jordan lost her ID, the police told me. So she wouldn't have been able to get on the airplane anyway. But I didn't even know that. So I was able to tell them that information, and I was able to send them like her ID, her social security card, information on what medication she's supposed to be taking. Not what medication she is taking, but what medication she's supposed to be taking. I think this is where I'm staying. Oh yeah, this is where I'm staying. She And the social worker said that they would continue to go in the room and ask her over and over again, can we please call your mom? Can we please call your mom? And I guess they had it. She said no. So I don't know who I am to her at this point. I don't know if she's in the hospital. I don't know if she's out on the streets. I don't know if they found someplace else for her to stay. I don't know anything. My prayer is that she's still in the hospital. And that she chose to allow them to care for her. See, I don't even know how to get up here. Well, I don't want to. Okay. That she chose to stay in the hospital. My prayer is for her to get a therapeutic level of medication in her so that she can see clearer. So that she knows what's best for her. Or at least has some kind of idea, or at least understands that she doesn't want to be homeless. I mean, she has family who love and care about her. I won't call her a mess, but I'm a mess. And I still have to keep telling myself this is not my fault. It wasn't going to just stop, and all of a sudden I was going to be okay with that and clear with that. Like, it was, I wonder if I can walk up this way. This is where my hotel is. I was hoping that I can at least walk up there and sit down. I don't know. We're gonna try. What else do I have to do? Yeah, what else do I have to do? There are so many laws. There are laws that are in place that were supposed to be in place to protect the mentally ill, that actually do way more harm to them than protect them. In my opinion. Not just in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion. These laws were, when they were enacted, were of the best intentions. Well, maybe not the best, but they served a purpose. But they were written way too broad. And they completely forget all of the gray areas in the world. So years ago, they were absolutely horrible. Okay, now I'm on the. They were absolutely horrible to the mentally ill. It was bad. They were horrible to them. And these laws were enacted in order to keep them from just drugging them and treating them horribly. Oh yes, I can't get in this way, but I can walk that way. And I can sit right here. And I'm gonna sit right here. I'm gonna sit right here. I'll be back. Yeah, they were enacted so that they couldn't do that kind of stuff anymore. And it was they have rights too. They're adults. You can't just force them this and that. But yeah, you can't force them into situations where they're treated horribly. But their treatment was the problem. How bad they were treated was what the problem was. The real solution to that is to not treat them so badly, you know? I don't know. That's what I would say. That's common sense to me. But if you think about it, a lot of the laws are created by people who really have no connection to the situation whatsoever. Because now you have someone who is mentally incapacitated and you're asking them, do you want some help? And they're telling you no. But how do they even know that they need help? They're mentally incapacitated. Sounds like common sense to me. And therefore, we have these situations where no one can tell me what's going on with my daughter just because she's 23. She obviously can't make these decisions for herself. And it's wrong. There has to be some gray legislature. There has got to be some gray laws. Well, she doesn't want you to know, Mom. Well, of course she doesn't want me to know. She's not in her right mind. It's beyond frustrating. I just want my baby home. I just recorded seemed like a whole video that I don't know, halfway into it started going into slow-mo. I don't know what that was all about. But I'm thinking maybe it's because that's supposed to be a whole nother video, is what I'm thinking. I think the last thing I was talking about though were the laws. These laws need to be changed. I'm new to this situation. But there are like millions of people are dealing with the same thing, and it's heartbreaking to know that they're all coming up with the same roadblocks that I'm coming up with. Like, it's crazy. And it's gotta change. Because this is frustrating. Like, I should be able to know what's going on with her. It doesn't matter how old she is. But one thing creating that last video, actually releasing that last video did, like I said, is it gave me new resources, and it told me ways, things, and people that I had in my corner that I guess I kind of knew I had in my corner, but I don't know how to ask for help. That's not my strong suit. Asking for help is not my, that's not what's the easiest thing for me. And, but I had people in my corner that I didn't even realize I had in my corner. And then I had millions of strangers praying for me, and thousands of strangers praying for me. But I didn't even give in to having those people that are closest to me praying for me too. And they care about her also. And there were people who just needed to see that video. Obedience is better than sacrifice, right? Woo, now the sun is like beaming on me. That's crooked. But yeah, obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Y'all know I gotta keep reminding myself of this stuff too. Well, this looks like this is the beginning of the journey for us. For me and my daughter. It's gonna be midway for somebody else. It may be winding down to the finish line and that victory, with that victory lap for somebody else. But we're all in this together. And you're not alone. You're not alone. It's your girl Tiff. And I love you all to life. And I'll be back. Like and subscribe.
You are now listening to Silverback Monstertainment.
Silverback Monstertainment.